Hey, good morning, Ape Nation. My Marine here. Good news is, come to find out, I literally just had a upper respiratory infection. So, here are my duckies under there. They got me on medication, of course, antibiotics and some steroids. But anyway, feel quite a bit better today. Hopefully I can get back to work tomorrow. But I gotta tell you, it's been the Twilight Zone. Just kind of sleeping and waking up, and a lot of craziness going on. And you know, I'm just gonna take a minute here. I want to tell you a story. Let's talk a couple things. I've been around long enough to really watch. Something about me I've been sharing with folks is, you know, and it's part of my career, was I tend to watch and keep my finger on the pulse everywhere that I possibly can. You know, Twitter is so secretive and seclusive, right? I mean, most of the folks in here, unfortunately, have a reason, but they're all hide behind a profile pic of some sort. Most people aren't showing their faces, don't actually know who they are, and there's some that are even more secretive than others, and you know, we just don't know. Honestly, you really, at the end of the day, you don't know who's who. You just have to base it off their actions and things they say, and you know, good old human trust, especially when we're going from billions beyond billions of dollars. That's some crazy trust. But anyway, I want to kind of portray something out that I've seen, why things are bothering me. And I made that last video about being aware of what influencers, bigger influencers, may come to say. And I think some of the stuff that I just have witnessed lately has really got me thinking. First off, I'm going to say something that everybody's like, no, but here's the truth of things. You know, we say no leaders, right? Okay, true. We can say that all we want. Thing is 90% of people tend to want to follow somebody. It's just the way it goes. 10% want to try to lead, step up. It's called influencers, right? We call them influencers. People say, no, there's no leaders. I'm sorry, but people elevate them to that position, and then everybody wants to follow them. So I want you to look at a storyline here. You can say there's no leaders. Great. There are people that stepped up and created that position and act like they are. No matter what they say, they portray themselves to be leaders. They can't deny it. At the end of the day, they got followers, they make statements, they go to other calls, whatever the case may be. They got plenty of people that want to follow them. I get that. That's human nature. It's not necessarily a bad thing. That's reality. But we don't have to call them leaders. They don't have to say that they're leaders, but they're acting like leaders. And when you act like a leader, it comes with a great responsibility, a huge responsibility, big time responsibility. And I'm against being selfish and coming with a place of greed. A person with leader in them, with a leadership ability, needs to want to serve their people at all times. They want to help their people without any greed. But unfortunately, we have those two types of leaders. We have the greed style, and we have the ones that do it selfishly. And one of my greatest mentors I had in my life told me, says, hey man, Mike, if you really want to be a millionaire, you want to be rich, he says, work really hard to make all those around you a millionaire. And I've been doing that ever since. And so that's one of the things that really bugs me. Just want you to put that out there about folks that, no matter what, elevate themselves to be leaders. They're still influencers. Their word carries tremendously across the board to so many folks. It's ridiculous. What they say can hurt individual people, can hurt the group, can hurt the movement. Now, we saw that. Now, early on, we talked about infiltration. Let's talk stories here. We talked about infiltration in the movement, correct? We talked about things happening in the movement, them getting in, them causing problems. Well, you got to believe they didn't come in late. You got to believe that they came in coordinated. If these are media companies or people that are paid out there to do these kind of things or create this kind of action, you know they got in. They got in early. Come on. They got to create those personas. They got to create those opportunities of who they are, right? So that over time it grows and they have a chance. Now, I keep posting about 10% moves to 90% and the narratives. That is so true. It takes those small percentage of people that speak up, that small percentage of leaders, as they start to say things, can start to affect other people, and as other people start to see it, they start to believe in it, and then they speak it, and it only takes a few, and they keep speaking it. Okay, I keep saying that for a reason, because that's just the way it works. So that's where we got to be careful of what influencers or leaders may decide to say or not say, and that's why I'm always suspect to that. So storyline. Think of this. I had said it before. Buying pressure affects AMC stock, correct? I've even seen other influencers talk about that. We've all talked about that. The more buying pressure, the more volume we get, shoots up, the higher the price can go, correct? So we had FOMO. We have these things that happen. They already said that we didn't we basically, the shorts didn't cover. I mean, SEC basically said that. There was a lot of FOMO. A lot of people came in. Adam Aaron still keeps saying we're around the 4.1 million. Whether or not they recounted, don't know. But our buying pressure is obviously down. Our daily volume's down significantly. It's not as high whatsoever anymore. So if you're a hedge fund and you know buying pressure is going to affect your stock, what do? Well, let's see. Let's see how we can get the buying pressure down. Well, how about we distract you? How about we try to get people to start using their retail money elsewhere? Let's start creating that narrative that they can start using their money elsewhere, and then when they can get more money, they can come back to AMC. So there, take the buying pressure away. Okay, sounds like a good idea to me. Well, let's just say that, you know, somebody started bringing in folks that could do that. Outside people I warned about that could come in and start talking about other stocks, start supposedly teaching these other stocks. And then the part where they can start grifting on you and getting you to pay for this information. But anyway, they start getting you focused elsewhere in the market, because that's supposed to help, right? Let's get you diversified away. Let's get you spending money elsewhere. That'll work, you know. Hey, we can get you doing that. Cool, I get that, because that's just natural. That's the way market's supposed to be ran. So we can start pulling that buying pressure off. And somebody introduced that at one point in time, and it kind of spread. And like I said, we had these outside people come in, started creating these accounts, starting getting familiarity built with them somewhere. Maybe I don't pay attention. They seem like they disappeared by now, but they were there. And now that's accepted. Cool. Got it. Okay, let's take the buying pressure away. Good idea. Now, let's talk about this. Now, we want to get this buying pressure taken away. At the same time, we need to fracture the community. We need to really get the community fractured, right? Get it broken up, get it mistrusting along the way. So we have these events. I don't know about you guys, but there's a couple, I don't know, I lost track of time. 4 months ago, whenever it was, there was a specific week and a specific night that something went down. And I'm not talking about Chad 2.0. That was kind of like maybe an introduction of it. But it wasn't very long after that, something big went down. Really bad over the weekend, and it just turned the entire weekend into drama from that point going forward. And we are started to see exactly where that drama was at. I even got pulled into it, but see, I went out on the line for something I knew was totally legit and totally real based on the amount of people I talked to, and I stood up based on bullying, and I admitted why I did it for my PTSD. So yes, I did go out on the line and do that. So I got drawn into that as well. I'll admit to that. But we started having all this drama and division, and that right there splintered. If you really look back, that splintered the community that night massively. That's kind of weird how that happened, but hey, it happened. So it splinters the community, and it stayed like that. And then the community got splintered again in about 3 ways, if you really look at it, with another big fight that started to happen. Big fight. So we get this splintering across the board, and it grew. I mean, it was to the point where whoever you followed, you showed up in a space call with, you liked or you retweeted, you were an enemy number one. And that went on for quite a while. And then started coming the block feature. Block, right? Everybody's getting blocked. Everybody's hating. Wow, massive division right there, right? That was wild. You guys got to admit, that was some crazy shit. And it just grew. Divided at least 3 ways. Stayed divided. Like I said, then we had all that infiltration. Then it became acceptable. Then somebody started promoting coins. Cool, I'm not against it, but just look at the picture, man. Look at the bigger picture. And so people are going that direction, buying pressure's off, people spending money elsewhere. And then here recently, we got it talking and pushing, and I said it in my last video, look for the narrative to come bigger than this about it's your money, but before that, buying the dips, like shorting the stock. You know, people sell your stuff now, buy back later. Okay, so if we get the buying pressure down, what do we need to get to go up? We need the selling pressure to go up, because if more and more people sell, then we can continue to drive the price down. Then maybe, just maybe, it can start to really help the shorts, or maybe they can start to trickle away and keep this going so they can get rid of these supposed synthetics and buy back the real and hide it all in there. I don't know. Dude, call me conspiracy theory, but think about that. So that starts happening. Getting all those pieces of the puzzle. Man, the closer we get and the tighter this thing gets on there, and all of a sudden we have what's happening right now. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. That splintering 3 ways is supposed to save the community, because now that's back together. Why the hell did it happen in the first place, and where the hell did it come from? And you really got to think about this stuff, folks. I look at the bigger picture, and I follow a lot of people, and I keep track. I'm going to make another video because it's 10 minutes long, and I'm going to talk more in depth about door number 1 and door number 2 and how that could really look. But please think for a minute. Just think. Like, why? Now all of a sudden, community wouldn't be the community without that. And right around the same time that we had this big influencer, you know who I'm talking about? We've already had one beating us. Now he's you know, everybody's against him. We got the other one now, but yet he seems to be somewhat getting accepted back. Shit's getting real friggin' fast. I went over to Facebook and I went over to some other places just to see how real it was still for those folks. It ain't as toxic over there. Of course, I haven't spent enough time over there, but it doesn't feel to be as toxic within the AMC Discord and within the Facebook. Don't even want to try to go back to Reddit. But it just makes me wonder, why the hell on Twitter it got to get all crazy like that? Why did it splinter and go on for months? Why do we get sidetracked with nothing but fights and all that crazy stuff going back and forth between certain groups? And now all of a sudden, it's going to be better where it started. Why the hell did it start, and why'd you sidetrack us for so long? I don't even know. It's to the point now, I got to like think twice. Like, who do I trust? Who can I actually trust when I speak to people? See, I'm the one that don't hide my face. I'm the one that gets on here and talks. I'm the one that ain't got nothing to hide. Never have been. But some of these people seem like they got a lot to hide. I'm going to talk about that here in a minute. Let's go behind door number 1 and door number 2. Anyway, just my thoughts, my feelings. Open up your brains. I don't know. Just think. This is where I've been, being sick and having nothing to do, but he's stuck inside and really contemplate everything I've been seeing. And it's like every day the puzzle pieces just come together. The roadmap of infiltration just shows its ugly face. And anybody that calls anything out now is the bad people. See, we're getting to that point too. I want to talk about that behind door number 1, door number 2 with this whole shill thing in a video I just watched about not calling people shills. I really want to discuss what shills and FUD really means to me and what I think it means to a lot of people too. So thanks for tuning in. Damn, this is 12 minutes long. Sorry you guys got to listen to me, if you even listen to me. I know I'm pretty much suppressed anyway, to the point where it doesn't matter. My tweet gets liked 24 times if I'm lucky. My tweets don't even seem to go out into people's feeds. Most people see it. I don't even see you anymore. So either I really suck at what I'm doing, and I've been sucking at what I'm doing. Nobody gives a shit and wants to hear what a goddamn thing I have to say. Sorry for saying it like that. It's just frustrating. Or I'm being suppressed for a reason. One way or the other, something's up. And I know I hold. See, I hold my conviction. I ain't gonna play no damn Twitter games. I ain't gonna play no BS just to be the convicted person I am. Doesn't work like that. My Marine, I'm out.